child has demonstrated some of the skills presented in our beginning play series, you can start to move on to more intermediate play skills. Remember that it's not a completely linear process, so they may not have yet mastered all of the skills in the beginning play series, and that's okay. For example, the sharing or turn taking might take a little bit longer to develop, but in the meantime, you can work on some more advanced skills in some of the other areas. In this series, we're going to look at how to teach your child object imitation using some different toys, and then also how to do different movements with those toys, as well as looking at the objects themselves, and then how to work on vocal imitation, making sounds and sound effects and saying the name of the toys as you're playing. And then after that, we'll look at how to teach your child to follow simple play directions and also to give you play directions so that you can take turns telling each other your play ideas, first with really simple ideas and then with a little bit more complicated ones that include features like shape and color and size. The first skill we're going to demonstrate is how to teach your child to copy you, imitating both the object that you have and where it's going to go. So for this set, we're going to use a series of toys, and you'll want to make sure that you have quite a few sets at home where there is more than one of the same exact toy to begin with, so that your child is first doing identical imitation, and then we'll show how to change that up a little bit. In the first part of this series, we're going to be looking at object imitation. The goal of this is to show your child how to take a single piece of the toy and copy you. So you want them to be looking for the same toy that you have and be doing the same exact thing with it. So you want to have multiple pieces that are as identical as possible so that it's easy for them to see which things are the same and which are different. So here we have a set of sorting bears and cups. This is nice because there's 5 different colored cups and lots of bears to go along with it. So you have many opportunities to practice the same skill until they're able to do it on their own. And you want to start with just a single cup and just one color of bear so that they're not trying to distinguish which color are you grabbing or is it just a bear, but that they're getting the red bear to go in the red cup, just like you are. So you'd want to have your cup out and probably just start with one bear initially for each of you so that when you put your bear in, then your child is going to put their bear in, and there aren't other bears or other things for them to get confused by. Once they can do that, then you can have the whole set of bears out and just take turns picking up a bear and putting it in, and then after your child does one, you do it again. It can be tempting to let them keep going and fill up the bears, but remember that the goal is for them to be imitating you, so you'll need to be taking turns in between. Once they can do that really well with one cup, now we can add in a second color. You'll want to have that color be pretty dissimilar from the first one, just so that it's very easy visually to see which one they're getting and where it belongs. Just like before, you want to have it as simple as possible. So I would start by setting it up where the bears are right in front of the cup that they're going to be going in and not mixed up yet. And once your child is watching which set of bears you go to and drop in, and they go to the same ones too, then you can start to mix them up in the middle, or then they're having to go back and forth between the different cups from the same pile. Once your child can reliably copy you sorting the bears with any combination of 2 cups, then you're ready to start trying 3 and then 4 and then eventually all of them. There are some different ways that you can set out the materials to help them start to look at more elements of what you're doing to really be copying you. But for right now, I would start playing around with how many bears you have and how many colors, so that just because you have all of the color cups out doesn't mean that you're going to have every single bear out. So sometimes I might just take 3 of the colors and mix them up, and then model sorting those ones out so that they have to figure out that, oh, nothing's going to go in the yellow cup, and I'm really just watching where the adult is putting the bears. And then I might start to have some over here and some over here, so that now there might be more than one red bear in each pile, and I'd want, if I reach over here and drop one in, I want my child to reach over to that same pile and get the red one from there versus getting the pile of red bears from over here. So it's just adding a little bit more information that they need to look for when they're copying you, but it's still the same goal of dropping the color bear into the right cup. Once your child can see which bear you're picking up and which cup it's going when the cups are all lining up, now you can start to mix them up. So here you can see I've spread out the cups, and then I've set the bears in pairs all around, so that when I reach for one of these red bears and drop it in, I would then want my child to reach for the second bear in that same set, even though there's another set of red bears over here, that I want them to get that same one, so that they're learning to go to the same place on the table that I went to get the bear. So I would do that all across, and we could set them up on the floor too. This can be hard to reach on the table, but however you'd like to set it, mix them up. Once they can do that, then we can start to split them up and just have single bears around, making sure that there's at least an even number of each color, so that if you model reaching for a yellow bear and putting it in, that there's always another yellow bear for your child to do. And then any yellow bear goes in the cup, and now you want them to scan the table looking for another yellow bear to put in. And then I can do a red one, and they can find a red one. So now we're having to look all around, and that the goal isn't having the same place that I went to, but, oh, she put a red bear in the cup, let me look around and find one, so that they have to demonstrate a little bit more persistence, and then it's a little bit more fun to find the bears. And if this is going well, you can then start to add in other items that aren't the bears, because now you've pretty established that you're matching by color, and you can find other small items like little blocks or beads or other small toys, and do the same thing with those using the cups. You probably want to go back and first have them where the cups are lined up and they're putting the other items in just like the bears before you mix it up like this. But it's a nice way to mix and vary it, so you're not doing the same thing each time.